Everyone's got a favorite game, but some experiences feel like they're on a different level, the kind that stay with you long after you've put the controller down. These are the single-player worlds that pull you in completely, where every detail feels crafted with purpose. I've played through countless titles, chasing that feeling that only a few games can truly deliver. And after all that time, these are the ones every gamer should try at least once before they die. Red Dead Redemption 2 isn't just a game, it's a life you step into. From the moment you ride out across the snow-covered mountains as Arthur Morgan, the world feels heartbreakingly real. The mud, the weather, the way light cuts through the trees at dawn, everything breathes. What makes it unforgettable isn't just the realism, but the quiet humanity behind it all. You're not saving the world here, you're surviving in one that's fading away. The dialogue feels lived in, the campfires feel like home, and every decision you make carries weight. By the end, it's not about gunfights or bounties, it's about a man trying to find redemption before time runs out. Few games can make you feel the world slipping through your fingers the way this one does. The Witcher 3 isn't just an RPG, it's a world that pulls you in and never really lets you go. You step into the boots of Geralt of Rivia, a monster hunter caught between war, politics, and the people he's just trying to protect. What makes it special isn't just the quests or the combat, but how every choice feels personal. Even the smallest side missions have weight, often ending in moments that stay with you. One minute you're tracking a beast through the woods, and the next you're questioning what monster even means. The writing, the music, the atmosphere, it all comes together to create a world that feels alive and painfully human. Few games make you care this much about every face you meet and every path you take. God of War Ragnarök doesn't just continue Kratos' story, it deepens it in every possible way. The game feels massive yet intimate, filled with gods, monsters, and moments that hit harder than any battle. Every swing of the Leviathan axe carries weight, not just in combat, but in emotion. You feel the tension between father and son, the unspoken fears, the quiet lessons hidden between fights. The world itself feels ancient and alive, from the frozen peaks of Midgard to the fiery depths of Muspelheim. What stands out most is how effortlessly it balances chaos and heart. One moment you're locked in a brutal fight, and the next you're standing in silence, realizing how far Kratos has come. It's a journey about strength, love, and letting go, told through some of the most breathtaking moments gaming has ever seen. The Last of Us Part 1 is less about surviving the apocalypse and more about what it means to still be human in one. From the first moments, it grips you not with action, but with emotion. You feel every step of Joel and Ellie's journey, from quiet conversations to moments of heartbreak that never leave your mind. The world is broken, yet the game finds beauty in the smallest details. Sunlight through ruined windows, a guitar string's faint echo, a joke shared just to keep hope alive. Every encounter feels raw and grounded, reminding you that danger isn't just from the infected, it's from what people become when everything falls apart. By the time the story ends, you realize it's not about saving the world at all, it's about saving one person who makes it worth living in. Ghost of Tsushima is a rare kind of game that feels like poetry in motion. Every ride across its golden fields or misty forests feels alive, guided by wind instead of waypoints. You play as Jin Sakai, a samurai torn between tradition and survival, honor and freedom. The combat is sharp and cinematic, with every duel feeling personal, almost sacred. What truly sets it apart is how much it trusts you to find your own path. No clutter. No noise, just instinct and the beauty of nature. The story unfolds with quiet power, exploring sacrifice and identity without ever needing to shout. From the calm of a bamboo grove to the chaos of a stormlit battle, every moment lingers. It's not just a game about reclaiming a land, it's about rediscovering who you are when everything you believe in starts to break. Elden Ring drops you into a world that refuses to hold your hand, and that's exactly what makes it unforgettable. The lands between feel endless, full of beauty, mystery, and quiet danger waiting around every corner. There's no checklist, no forced direction, just you, your curiosity, and the courage to keep exploring after every defeat. Each discovery feels earned, whether it's a hidden cave, a massive boss, or a single glowing tree in the distance. The game never tells you what to feel, but it makes you feel everything: fear, triumph, awe, and freedom. It's a reminder that sometimes the best adventures aren't the ones that guide you. They're the ones that let you get lost and find meaning along the way. Horizon Forbidden West feels like stepping into a living, breathing world where nature and machines collide in stunning harmony. Playing as Aloy, you're constantly caught between the beauty of what's been reborn and the mystery of what was lost. Every region feels unique, lush jungles, glowing deserts, and sunken cities filled with secrets waiting to be uncovered. The combat is fluid and tactical, forcing you to think fast and strike smart as you face towering mechanical beasts. But it's not just about the fights, it's about discovery, growth, and connection. Aloy's journey feels deeply personal as she faces the weight of the past and the hope of what's ahead. It's a world that makes you stop just to take it all in, reminding you that even after the end, life finds a way to move forward. Cyberpunk 2077 throws you into Night City, a place that's as beautiful as it is broken. The neon lights, the noise, the chaos, it all feels alive, pulsing with stories around every corner. You play as V, a merc chasing survival and meaning in a world that's forgotten both. What makes it stand out now isn't just its massive world or choices, it's how human it feels beneath all the chrome. Every mission, every character, every quiet moment inside that apartment window reminds you there's a heart beating under the metal. With its updated version, the game finally lives up to the vision it promised. A messy, emotional, unforgettable journey through a city that reflects everything thrilling and tragic about chasing a dream. Marvel's Spider-Man 2 takes everything that made the first game special and pushes it further. Swinging through New York feels smoother and faster than ever. Every leap, every glide, every moment in the air feels effortless. You switch between Peter Parker and Miles Morales, each with their own powers, stories, and struggles, and it never loses focus on what really matters: the people behind the masks. The story dives deep into friendship, responsibility, and sacrifice, giving you moments that hit as hard emotionally as the action does physically. It's cinematic, heartfelt, and pure fun, the kind of superhero game that makes you remember why you fell in love with these characters in the first place.
Won't get me with those webs! Spiders!
Alan Wake 2 is less of a sequel and more of a descent into the mind of a storyteller losing control of his own creation. It blurs the line between fiction and reality so perfectly that you're never sure what's real anymore, and that's exactly what makes it brilliant. The atmosphere is thick with tension. Every shadow feels alive. Every flicker of light feels like hope, trying to survive. You play as both Alan and Saga, two stories weaving together into something haunting and unforgettable. It's psychological horror done with purpose, not just for scares, but to explore obsession, guilt, and the cost of creation. The writing, music, and visuals work in perfect sync to pull you under, and by the time it's over, you're left questioning more than just the story, you're questioning yourself. Uncharted 4. A Thief's End feels like the perfect farewell to one of gaming's most beloved heroes. Nathan Drake's final adventure isn't just about treasure. It's about legacy, love, and knowing when to let go. The game takes you across breathtaking locations, from hidden islands to ancient ruins, each one packed with cinematic detail that makes every climb and every fall feel real. The dialogue is sharp, the chemistry between characters effortless, and the pacing never misses a beat. It's a mix of heart-stopping action and quiet reflection, where every choice feels heavier because you know it's the end of an era. By the time the credits roll, you don't just remember the explosions or puzzles, you remember the man behind the myth and the journey that defined him.
Thank you. I'm good. Whoa.
Assassin's Creed Origins marks the moment the series found its soul again. Set in ancient Egypt, it's more than just a reinvention. It's a story of loss, love, and purpose told through the eyes of Bayek, a man driven by justice but haunted by grief. Every dune, temple, and bustling city feels alive, capturing the beauty and mystery of a civilization at its height. The world invites you to explore at your own pace, whether you're scaling pyramids under a burning sun or diving into forgotten tombs. Combat feels grounded and weighty, every strike carrying meaning. But it's the story that stays with you, one man's journey to protect his people and unknowingly create something far greater, the birth of the Brotherhood. It's not just history, it's the moment where legend begins.
Die, idiots. I'll get the fire going. Something ablaze.
Resident Evil 4 Remake brings back one of gaming's most iconic adventures and somehow makes it feel brand new. From the first eerie step into that foggy village, the tension never lets up. Every encounter feels sharper, every sound more haunting, and every bullet more precious. You step into Leon's shoes once again, but this time the fear feels closer, the danger more personal. The remake captures everything that made the original a classic-type pacing, smart level design, and unforgettable encounters while rebuilding it with stunning detail and modern precision. It's not just nostalgia, it's a masterclass in how to reimagine a legend without losing what made it special. By the end, you're reminded why this game changed survival horror forever.
This just keeps getting worse.
A Plague Tale, Requiem takes the quiet heartbreak of the first game and turns it into something even more powerful. You follow Amisha and Hugo through a world drowning in darkness, both literally and emotionally. The bond between them is the heart of everything fragile, fierce, and painfully human. Every moment feels heavy, from the whispers of the wind to the swell of rats beneath your feet. The visuals are hauntingly beautiful, the music cuts deep, and the pacing never lets you forget how much these two have endured. What makes it special isn't just the stealth or tension, it's the way the story captures the cost of survival and the limits of love. By the end, you're not just watching their struggle, you feel every step of it.
Of St. John. Enjoy goods from our region and beyond.
Have you
at the
seen?
market.
What? The people here. They're smiling. It's true.
Star Wars Jedi. Survivor expands everything that made its predecessor great and gives it a soul of its own. You step back into the boots of Cal Kestis, now a more seasoned Jedi carrying the weight of rebellion and regret. The game perfectly blends fast, fluid combat with thoughtful exploration, letting you feel the true strength and burden of the Force. Every duel feels earned, every discovery meaningful, and every planet alive with history and danger. But beyond the lightsabers and epic set pieces, it's Cal's journey that stands out, a story about resilience, trust, and finding light, even when everything seems lost. Survivor doesn't just make you feel like a Jedi, it makes you understand what it means to keep fighting when hope feels far away. Sekiro. Shadows. Die Twice is the kind of game that tests more than your skill. It tests your patience, focus, and determination. Set in a beautifully brutal version of Sengoku-era Japan, every duel feels like a dance between precision and death. You play as Wolf, a shinobi bound by loyalty and driven by redemption, facing enemies that demand perfection rather than power. The combat is fast, punishing, and deeply satisfying once you learn its rhythm. Every parry, every strike, every victory earned through sheer persistence. What makes Sekiro stand out is how personal it feels. It's not about leveling up or collecting loot, it's about mastering yourself. By the time you conquer your final foe, you don't just feel stronger, you feel transformed. Detroit. Become Human puts you in a future where androids are more human than the people who built them. It's a story told through choices, small ones that ripple into massive consequences. You control 3 characters, each with their own path and perspective, and the beauty lies in how differently every story can unfold. The game doesn't just ask you to make decisions, it asks you to question your own morals while doing it. The world feels alive, filled with moments that are quiet, tense, or heartbreaking depending on what you choose to do. What makes it unforgettable is how personal it becomes. You're not just watching a story, you're shaping it and living with the weight of every decision long after the credits roll. Death Stranding is one of those games that's hard to explain until you've lived it. On the surface, it's about delivering packages across a fractured America, but underneath, it's a story about connection in a world that's fallen apart. Playing as Sam Porter Bridges, every step you take feels heavy, both physically and emotionally. The loneliness, the silence, the sound of rain hitting the ground, it all builds an atmosphere that's strangely peaceful, yet unsettling. The game rewards patience and reflection, turning long walks into moments of meaning. It's a reminder that even when everything feels disconnected, the smallest act of reaching out can rebuild something bigger than yourself. By the end, you realize Death Stranding isn't just about surviving, it's about finding purpose in the spaces between people. Days Gone might look like another post-apocalyptic game at first, but it's much more personal than that. You play as Deacon St. John, a drifter trying to survive in a world that's fallen apart, but his real fight isn't against the infected, it's against loss and loneliness. The world feels raw and unpredictable, from quiet forest roads to chaotic hordes that can wipe you out in seconds. What makes it stand out is the way it balances danger with emotion. One moment you're gunning through a swarm, and the next you're fixing your bike under the sunset, thinking about the people you've lost. It's about holding on to hope when everything around you says it's gone. Days Gone doesn't rush you, it lets you live in its world, scars and all.
There we go.
Bioshock Infinite takes you to Columbia, a city floating in the clouds, but it's more than just a stunning backdrop. It's a world full of contradictions, beauty, and hidden darkness. You play as Booker DeWitt, tasked with rescuing Elizabeth, and every step of your journey challenges what you think you know about morality, choice, and consequence. The city feels alive, from the bustling streets to quiet, tense moments in hidden corners. Combat is exciting, but it's the story, the characters, and the twists that linger long after the credits roll. Bioshock Infinite isn't just about reaching the destination, it's about understanding the world and the people who inhabit it, and it's one of those rare games that sticks with you emotionally as much as it entertains. These 20 games aren't just titles on a shelf, they're experiences, stories, and worlds that stay with you long after you put the controller down. Each one has something unique to offer, whether it's a breathtaking landscape, an unforgettable character, or a story that challenges your perspective. If you're looking for games that leave a mark, these are the ones you'll want to play at least once in your lifetime. So pick up your controller, dive in, and see which of these worlds will stay with you forever.